Hey, I'm Taylor from Ragnarok Studios, and this is your 360-degree Sacred Knowledge tutorials. This is part 3 of how to make a friction fire with the bow drill method. In this tutorial, we're going to be going over the technique and making some fire. First thing, finding a flat surface to work with so that when you place your hardware down, it's going to be fairly stable and not wobble on you. The first thing I'm going to place on the ground is something that's going to catch all the dust and ultimately the coal so that I can pick it up and transfer it to the tinder bundle. This can be preferably dry. This is a piece of dry cedar bark, inner cedar bark, or some dry leaves. You can use a fresh leaf, but there is some moisture content in there. If you want to put all the odds in your favor, use something that's dry. So I have a piece of cedar bark down. Next, my fireboard feels nice and sturdy. I like to put my bare foot onto the board. I have a better feeling of it. The added benefit of that is when you take your shoe off, if you have some shoes on, is you can kneel on them. This is a bit of a rocky surface. It's not so comfortable to kneel on, but I can put my shoes down, I can kneel on that, and have my bare foot on the fireboard. My bow and spindle. The way to place the spindle into your bow, I'm right-handed. This is in my dominant hand, my right hand. The top of the spindle is going to face the bow on top of the string. Once placed like that, I want to wrap it underneath the cordage and around the other side while keeping the bottom end on this side of the cordage. Now the way I do that is I use two hands. I put the bow between my legs. I start to wrap this around. I grab the spindle and I twist and roll like a rolling pan. Twist and roll until it's tight in there. Now I place the death grip on everything. It's all held together in my right hand. I have the back where I'm going to hold the bow. This cordage is going along, on top, around, and coming out this part of the cordage underneath. That's an ideal setup. Now I have this all in my hand. I can grab the rest of my material. I want to make sure at this point that as I start going, I have my tinder bundle ready. It's right here. We made it in the previous tutorial. And if I'm going to make a fire, I have maybe another tinder bundle ready to light. I have some kindling. I have all stages of my fire ready to go. If you've just made your bow drill kit, then you're going to have some shavings. So here's some cedar shavings that I carved off with my knife. This will be the first thing to go on. Some of the pieces that I batoned off are here. That's going to be the next stage of kindling. I'm not going to make a big fire right now, but you would still have progressively bigger wood and everything ready to go. The handhold's ready. If you can put some lubricant in the top, here is some pine pitch. If you can't find pitch around, some green plant material. Your body has some natural lubricants on it. Maybe you can get some earwax, some oils from the side of your nose. If you're out camping, you have some cooking fat, some cooking grease, coconut oil, butter. Maybe you have some lip balm on you. Anything you can put in the top to add some lubrication and minimize that friction. Getting into position. I'm going to kneel comfortably on my shoes. My bare foot is going to go on to the fireboard to stabilize it fairly close, as close as I can get to my spindle without actually the spindle rubbing on it. Careful to place the bottom and not the top of my spindle into my notch. I'm going to be in a fairly rigid position and I want to be as stable as possible for this. I do not want my spindle to be moving around as I'm bowing. I want it to be straight up and down to drill precisely straight down. If I'm going off on angles here, I'm not making a nice drill hole that's even all the way down. I'm going to make something that's all wobbly, oval shaped. It's not going to work as well. If you find yourself stabling, stop and stabilize. The way I stabilize is I bring my arm around my shin and brace it, press it against my shin. As long as this shin and my arm are braced together like this, I'm not going to be moving. I place my handhold on top. Now, this is almost like a cane. The way this friction fire is going to work is through pressure, downward pressure, and speed. My downward pressure is now controlled by just how much I'm going to lean onto this, like if it was a cane supporting me. I can start off with light pressure, and as I go and the technique gets more comfortable, I can increase that pressure and start to increase that speed. Just be mindful that your spindle is always straight up and down, that you're braced, that the rest of your body does not need to move, and the only thing that needs to move is your arm. As I bow, I want this bow to stay parallel to the ground. If I start dipping up and down, my string is going to either go up or down and maybe fling off, and the spindle will go flying out. You start off slow with light pressure, and as it gets more and more comfortable, add pressure, add speed. As you see a lot of smoke, go harder, go faster, increase it. And when you think you can't go anymore, try to pump out another hard 10 seconds, but still maintain that good form. You may see that it's smoking so much that you already have a coal, or just keep giving it until you can't give it no more, and hopefully you got a coal when you're done. I like to have my notch on the outside of my board. I can look down and see what's going on a little bit more. You can have the notch on the inside. It's a little bit more protected from wind. I always just like it on the outside. Do what you prefer. Make sure that you have some space to work with here. This bank's kind of rising up a little bit, but I think I'll avoid that, and nothing's in my way here for my bow. Okay, so I'm going to start slowly. Gradual pressure, gradual speed. I also, when I grip the bow, like to hold the string as well. That adds a little more tightness to the string. So now I'm starting to get some smoke. It's making that nice sawing sound. I'm going to increase speed. Continue to breathe. Nice long, steady strokes. Okay, now there's no reason to panic here. That's smoking really well. There's a good coal down there. It's actually fallen off the board a little bit. And if it's stuck in your fireboard, give it a couple taps. Everything comes loose. You've got a lot of powder on your board. I'm going to empty that into here. I'm going to get this coal gently back on. There's no reason to panic and be all quick with this. This coal will burn for quite a while. Gently place this coal into the center of your tinder bundle. From here, I don't want to smother it, but I want to make sure it's covered by the tinder so it can grow, but I don't want to smother it. Some light breaths. I can watch the coal burn. The heat, the smoke all rises. I want to make sure I have a lot of tinder above my coal. So if it looks a little sparse here and more down here, maybe I'll turn it around. I can see that coal. It's growing with every breath. I hold it at least face height, if not higher, because I don't want to do down here and get all this smoke in my face. There's no reason to panic. This is growing. This is doing well. Increasing. There's already some flame. Increasing how much I'm smoking or how much I'm blowing. There it is. There's your flame. Let's put that down here. Throw a little bit of these shavings on top. This is just the wood I had going from carving this kit. I'm not really trying to make a fire now, but this is what you would do. Get it going, have all your wood ready. This is nice and dry cedar. And now you have your fire. Warmth for cooking, purifying your water. It's that easy. Maybe. Okay, give it a try. Thank you.